May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be pleasing to you, the God who inquires about our needs. Amen.
Amen.
A lot of you know that I spend Tuesday mornings down in the Salvation Army volunteering, and at the moment they're going through a big kitchen remodeling project. Expanding the kitchen, everything's torn up, you can't go to where you used to go. And so it means that for the food distributing program on Tuesday, it's a little different than what it was. It's not very convenient, it's more difficult. It's just changed. And there always seems to be things that change down at the Salvation Army. It's a live entity. It does not stay static. A couple of things that have changed quite a bit is we used to have a number of people that would be working off the community hours for the offenses to society, and that's changed quite a bit. We don't hardly have anyone doing that anymore. There's a different program going. Another thing we used to have quite a bit of, we used to have a lot of kids from the ISD that were special needs kids would come down and they would help out with distributing food. And that's sort of fallen by the wayside too, with just different requirements and things that come up. So, it's kind of, I guess what I'm basing my sermon on today a little bit is there was this young man by the name of Chris that was a volunteer. He was really too old for the ISD anymore. He had gone through that program and he had aged out, as they say, but he still was down helping out. And old Chris he's quite a character. He's quite a joker. He liked to engage in what some of us would call locker room talk. So, of course, we hit it off immediately. He's just a normal kid. He can't see, but he's got a heart of gold. And he's quick to point out when people would say things to him like, "See you around," or "Don't you see what I mean?" that he indeed could not see. And he'd laugh about it. Any kind of verbal faux pas you came up with, he would just pick on it right at that time, and it was much to his delight. Now, his volunteer talent for us down there at the Salvation Army was after the food was being distributed from the cardboard boxes, they'd bring the boxes back to the garage area, and he would kick them apart. He was quite talented. He'd sit there and he would just kick the boxes flat. They'd have another student helping them, loading them up on a cart, and then they would walk across the parking lot to where the dumpster was, or the cardboard recycling dumpster was, and take care of it, laughing, joking across the way, him with his cane, watching out for the traffic. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't very efficient at times, you have to say that, but you know what? It provided opportunity for him to work, provided opportunity for socialization. Well, then a change took place. The longtime program facilitator of the food program died, and the person who took over in the role felt that she needed to prove herself capable. And as we always know, policies change with the person in charge, and so policies change. And she is very capable, but some of the inefficiencies that she corrected came at the cost of some hard feelings, because we'd always done things this way. And it was about that time that the young disabled students weren't able to come down anymore. And so she found a quicker way to do all this stuff anyway, even with less people. Even the cardboard boxes were put away so efficiently that if you wanted to go find a cardboard box real quick, good luck. You weren't going to find it like back in Chris kicking them apart. We'd always find one. Oh, Chris still came around. Chris still came around for quite a while, but without any really meaningful work. He would just sit on his chair out where the food distribution was going on and get that rocking going that blind people always get. You didn't know. Everyone around was busy, and he felt kind of bad. Usually he would be able to do something, but his heart wasn't in it. And it was about this time that Chris became a beggar. He would ask many of the volunteers for a specific amount of money. I need $20. Yeah, I need $10 right now. We're people moving in and out. He would try to get people to run him up to the big boy. He loved going up to the big boy. And he used to catch a ride, but we were all there for the duration. He had to stay and do the program. And after losing that part of his community, you can see Chris went from being a productive member of the Fresh Food Initiative to one just crying out for alms in a Jericho-like busy place. I was thinking, especially studying for this reflection, it dawned on me that, I had a positive relationship with Chris, but I never connected with Chris the way that Jesus did to Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus was questioned by Jesus. He says, "What do you want me to do for you?" And here I was doing the work of the kingdom, I thought, down there, but I never asked Chris, like Bartimaeus was asked, "What can I do for you?" Well, it might be I didn't ask that question because Chris maybe the request was going to cost me a little more money than I thought. Or, I'd have to go out of my way to go do something for Chris, which many times I've been willing to do, but I never asked. But, maybe he wouldn't have asked those things. Maybe I shouldn't have jumped to that conclusion because, when Bartimaeus come up to Jesus and asked, "What can I do for you?" He's a blind guy. What do you think he wants, Jesus? But sometimes we don't know what someone wants without us asking them. Well, Jesus' question, no, it points out that he is able to be called upon, and he may very well grant your request, just like Bartimaeus. Now, it may not always be the way you want your request granted, I guess, but if you ask with sincerity, you will get some action. Now, unlike Chris, who was blind from birth as a result from drug use by a teen mother, it appears that Bartimaeus lost his sight with some other means. And it was commonly believed that sin would cause such afflictions to you. There was no social services back in these days to speak of. No job training, no help for people that have disabilities. So things did look pretty dark for Bartimaeus. But Bartimaeus came up with a plan. He came up with a plan when he heard about the miracles that Jesus was performing. He wasn't at any of these miracles, and obviously, like Chris would say, he couldn't see them anyway. But because of the stories and because of the nature of faith, he got great faith. Great faith because he could see what the sighted people couldn't see. Bartimaeus not only regained his vision, but he joined the followers of Jesus. Jesus told him he could go. Gosh, all the things you would do if you go back and got your sight again. But no, he became a follower. And he was not only restored, he gained salvation. Jesus said, "Go, your faith has made you well." He answered Jesus' question in a way that was rewarded. He didn't ask for eternal life like the rich man, or he didn't ask for power like James and John. And he sets the model for all of us on our faith journeys. He believes, he sees, and he follows. The teaching and the healing section of Mark that we've been focused on since September is bookended by the healing of 2 blind men. Several weeks ago, we heard of a blind healing, but the circumstances are quite different. The first, a nameless man, was brought by friends, and when they brought him up to Jesus, they said, "Please do something to make him see again." And Jesus took him aside and spit, rubbed on his eyes, laid hands on him, and it didn't work. Not very well. Jesus had to go back and do a little more. And it worked okay, but he was told not to go back to the village on his way back home, and don't talk to anybody about this. Quiet. today, Jesus speaks the immediate healing. He's not doing any compounds. No, not at all. No. He speaks the immediate healing in front of a crowd that couldn't even care less about this man. The only man who's calling him Jesus, son of David, was the man that got the attention. Jesus gladly welcomes Bartimaeus to lead the way into Jerusalem. That's where we're headed next. We're going to Jerusalem. And while Jesus knows his passion is soon to happen, he's not keeping it quite so secret now. His humanity, it's time for humanity to believe, comprehend, and be led by this Son of David. All of us sitting here today have less than perfect vision. We often refuse to see the world as God would have us see it. Sometimes we can't stand to see the pain and the suffering. We just close our eyes. Sometimes we just retreat to ourselves. Ophthalmologists can't help those situations, but faith in Jesus can. We can learn this from Bartimaeus. We need to be willing to shout out to Jesus so he can call us. We need to know the areas of our life that needs attention, so when Jesus asks, we don't have to mumble and try to think of something. We have a clear and concise answer of what we want. We need to get in front of the crowd, even if the crowd is telling us to shut up. That's what the bishop's telling us to do with the resolution things. He said, well, the crowd's one thing, that's really nice, and send a note to someone that says it's an awful situation, we're against this or we're for this. No, that's not. That just shows up. You need to be out and shouting. We need to be willing. We need to be willing to receive the healing so we can be restored as children of God. We need to become a faithful follower on the march with Jesus. Now, I haven't seen Chris for a couple of months. And under the circumstances, I don't know if I'm ever really going to see him at the Salvation Army again. But I do know the next time I encounter Chris, I'm going to be sure to ask him, what do you want me to do for you? Because Chris has spent a long time looking for some mercy. Amen.
Amen.